Hey, Gathering family, it is Pastor Nick here. It's Monday afternoon. I am in the library at the Gathering, and I was just reflecting on yesterday's message for diving deeper. So this is diving deeper, and it's just, practicing what we preach, kind of fleshing out what God said Sunday, and just thinking about Sunday. And the title of the message is, if it were easy, everyone would do that. If it were easy, everyone would do it. And I know sometime in your life you've heard that expression. And most of the time somebody tells you that right before you're about to do something that you probably don't want to do, or something that's hard. And life is hard. And Paul in 1 Corinthians, tells us, as we talked about Sunday, that we have a race to run. And obviously all runners run in a race to win, and us as Christians have an eternal reward or eternal prize. So how much more should we work or run toward that prize? Because it never ends, it lasts forever. It's not just a one-time prize, it's a prize that never ends. So it's worth something. It costs something. It cost Jesus everything, and he loved us so much that he gave us that eternal prize with him. And just reflecting on that, after I read that passage in 1 Corinthians 9:24-27, I thought, well, what does it take to run a race? Because most of the time, my part in the Gathering as being a pastor is more on the back end than the front end, because God casts a vision, and normally that comes through a Bobby or a John, and my part in that most of the time is thinking, well, what does it take to get that done? What does it take to run a race well? And Paul gives us, kind of an outline in those three verses. First it takes, you got to have purpose. You got to know your identity, as we talked about. You got to know who you are and whose you are, and that is who you are is in Christ Jesus alone. And then you got to start putting some work behind it. And a lot of people, don't want to put in the effort, but to get any results, to get anything that is satisfying, you got to put in some kind of effort. If you want the juice, you got to squeeze, kind of thing. Or, I made the golf analogy with Gary Player, that, people say, well, if I could shoot a basketball like Michael Jordan, or if I could hit a golf ball like Gary Player, I'd be in the NBA, or I'd be in the PGA, or I'd be a good golfer. But they don't realize how much work and effort they put into being successful. And God didn't just send Jesus to save us and give us a ticket to heaven. He gave us a purpose in this life and a race to run, and so we should run it well. And in thinking about that, just if running your race well takes purpose, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing, and you need to put a target out there. So my question to you in this diving deeper discussion would be, what is a target? What is a goal you can put out there to go after? What is a target you can set or hit? And if you don't know of one, ask God, pray about it, ask him, what is something I need to work on? And I promise he'll tell you if you're willing to humble yourself and receive that truth. And so that would be the first question. What is a target you can put in front of you to start running your race if you're not already running? If you are running it, once you start something, you get motivated, you get inspired, and over time it kind of becomes tedious or hard, and you feel like giving up. And that's where you need to put people around you, because people make you better. We're the Gathering, which means we're a community. We're a body of people gathered together, and we're together. We're here for each other, and that's what it takes to keep on running your race, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Your life, your race. And in thinking about that, if people make you better, are you willing, are you receptive to hear truth, to have truth spoken into your life, and are you willing to trust people enough to allow them to do that? And if you're not, then that's where you need to start. But I guess another question, the last question would be, are you willing to humble yourself and let down those walls or barriers to let people in and let them help you? one hard thing for me, I ask y'all to pray for me Sunday, was because it's hard to trust people outside of your immediate family. And so, we're in this together. We got to do this together because that's what's going to help us be inspiring to the community and to the gathering. And so that is diving deeper, and that's what we're talking about this week and reflecting on. And I encourage you just to get along with God and get with people in whatever context, whether that's a Bible study, a small group, eating breakfast together, taking somebody to lunch, and just letting people know where you're at and being okay, not being okay. So God gave us a race to run, and I hope you're running it well, and let's run together.